Namaskaram to the wonderful audience. Today we are back with another series, and in this we are doing a Sankirtana from Annamacharya's famous recitation, that is Srimannarayana. So I would like to welcome Adithya ji. Namaskaram, Adithya ji.
Namaskaram, Tejaswiti.
We are
Happy to
glad
be
to
part
host you
of this
today.
series. Thank you so much. Happy to be here as well. Looking forward.
Yes. So today, in the occasion of Saturday also, so just to have a blessings from Lord Venkateswar Swami. So we are going to do Srimannarayana Kirtana today. All gist and all. So I would like to ask you that what Ragam and what Talam is being used in this Srimannarayana Kirtana, which is recited by Annamacharya.
Sure. So, Srimannarayana is one of the many abundant Kirtanams that were composed by Swami Annamacharya, who was one of the saints and poets of the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya tradition, who are followers of Ramanujacharya of South India. Annamacharya was residing in Tirupati, Tirumala for a long time, and he was a great devotee of Lord Srinivasa, Lord Venkateshwara, or Lord Balaji, different names that the Lord is called by. And all of his hymns, most of them are associated with praising this Lord. So Srimannarayana is one such Kirtana, which is in Aditalam, and the Raga is Bauli, which is a Janya Raga of Maya Malava Gauda. So he has created wonderful works, and this is also one of praiseworthy work and one of the most common sung Kirtana across South India.
Okay. All right. And what is the context that Annamacharya has taken to make Srimannarayana? And why is it so special? Why he named it as Srimannarayana? Why that Kirtana has been named as Srimannarayana? What is the history behind that?
Yep.
Hmm.
So as we go into the context of the Kirtana, it appears that Annamacharya wanted to praise the glory of Lord Venkateshwara as being non-different from Lord Narayana, who resides in Vaikuntha. So that is why they call Tirumala as Bhuvaikuntha.
Exactly.
We have observed since many years, and it still continues, that it is one of the richest temples in the world, where people from across the globe come to have darshan of the Lord with many wishes to be fulfilled. And when we talk about wishes, we have a strategy in Sanatana Dharma, which is known as Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, Chaturvarga.
Yes.
So these Chaturvarga Phala, corresponding to Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, everything is fulfilled by the Lord. So when people come, they come till Dharma, Artha, and Kama, whatever wishes they have. And finally, Annamacharya, maybe he would have created this Kirtana in order to infuse the spirit of requesting for liberation or moksha. Moksha is nothing but stopping the cycle of birth and death. Exactly. Going back to the Supreme Lord back again. And with this intention, Annamacharya wants to openly connect that Lord Venkateshwara or Lord Srinivasa is no different than Lord Srimannarayana, who has directly come from Vaikuntha. Yes. Shri means Mahalakshmi. Shriman means one who possesses Mahalakshmi. That is one who is the source of all wealth. And Narayana actually means, by the terminology, Sanskrit lexicology, Narayana is one who is the resting place, final resting place or final resting abode of all Jivatmas or souls. So he is nothing but the supreme, most supreme personality of Godhead, in which everything finds it eternal bliss. So with this context, Annamacharya would have composed this Kirtana. Okay.
Yeah. That's really great. So can you please recite it for us?
Sure. Definitely, Tejaswiti. Thank you for the opportunity again. Okay. Srimannarayana 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 Ni Sripamagame Saranam Srimannarayana 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 Ni Sripadame Saranam Sripadame Sharanam. Kamala Sati Mukha Kamala Kamala Hita Kamala Priya Kamalekshana Kamala Sati Mukha Kamala Kamala Hita Kamala Priya Kamalekshana Kamala Sati Mukha Kamala Kamalahita Kamalapriya Kamalekshana Kamalasanahita Garuda Gamana Shri Kamalanabhani Pada Kamalame Sharanam Kamalasanahita Garuda Gamana Shri Kamalanabhani Pada Kamalame Sharanam Narayana Srimannarayana Srimannarayani Sripadame Sharanam Sripadame Sharanam Yogi Jana Bhagadeya Shri Paramapurusha Paratpara Paramayogi Jana Bhagadeya Shri Paramapurusha Paratpara Paramayogi Jana Bhagadeya Shri Paramapurusha Paratpara Paramatma Paramanu Shri Tiruvekadagirudeva Paramatma Paramanu Shri Tiruvekadagirudeva Sharanam Sriman Narayana Srimannarayana Srimannarayani Sripadame Sharanam Sripadame Sharanam. Thank you.
That's very nice. So mesmerizing it was. So let's break it down into the meaning that what it was actually the Kirtana, so that let's make it understandable for the viewers as well.
Sure,
Yes.
So when the Kirtanam actually starts with the Pallavi, Srimannarayana, 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 Ni Shripadame Sharanam, which means Shri is Mahalakshmi. We all, our daily lives, our materialistic world is ultimately dependent on Mahalakshmi, who is the source of all prosperity. Exactly. It could be in terms of money, it could be in terms of resources, or it could be in terms of humans or any other living entities that is present in nature. Now, Shri Man refers to in Sanskrit as the possessor of Shri or the possessor of Mahalakshmi. Who is the possessor of Mahalakshmi? Is Mahavishnu, Lord Mahavishnu, who is the husband and the Lord of Mahalakshmi. And Narayana, as I have already mentioned, refers to the final resting abode of all entities. So this Srimanarayana name itself encompasses everything that is available in this universe. Now, as people, we all work towards earning money in life, having good name, fame, status, and so on. But there is all these kinds of wealth are temporary because they are prone to changes. Nothing is constant in life.
Exactly.
Things are changed. And with changes, there will be ups and downs. And we need to find some kind of happiness which is eternal in nature. And who is capable of giving such eternal happiness is Lord Srimannarayana. Because he is the source of wealth, a possessor of source of wealth, Mahalakshmi. And through wealth we derive happiness. Therefore, if you go and surrender to the possessor, supreme possessor of all wealth in this universe, that will lead us towards eternal happiness or eternal bliss. That is the whole context why this Pallavi was created in this way by Swami Annamacharya.
Yeah.
And when we come forward towards Anupallavi, he says, Kamala Sati Mukha, Kamala Sahita, which means Kamala Sati is nothing but Mahalakshmi. Kamala refers to lotus, and Mahalakshmi is supposedly residing on a lotus, holding lotus in her hands, and even her eyes are referred to as lotus-like eyes to depict the beauty of eyes of Mahalakshmi. And because she always has her, her sight on her husband, Lord Mahavishnu, he is praised as one who is always seen in the lotus-like eyes of Mahalakshmi. Kamala Sati Mukha, Kamala Hita. Therefore, even the face of Mahalakshmi is lotus-like, which reflects the lotus-like face of Mahavishnu. Kamala Priya, Kamalekshana. Kamala Priya, one who likes lotus. Obviously, because Mahalakshmi likes lotus, and therefore Mahavishnu likes lotus, and even the other way around. Kamalekshana, Kamala Ikshana, which means who is lotus-eyed. And then they say Kamalasana Hita. Who is Kamalasana? Kamalasana is one who resides on Kamala or lotus. It refers to Brahma. Chaturmukha Brahma resides on Kamala, right? He sits on a lotus from the navel of Mahavishnu. Therefore, Hita means one who is the source and one he is related. So, who is the source of Chaturmukha Brahma? Again, it is Mahavishnu. Who is related to Chaturmukha Brahma? It is again Mahavishnu, because Brahma rose from Mahavishnu, and therefore Brahma becomes the son of Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is the father of Brahma. Therefore, Kamala Sanahita, Garuda Gamana Shri. Garuda Gamana, one who rides Garuda, the eagle, as his vehicle. So, just like, the mind is so fast, it can have many thoughts. Similarly, Garuda, who is an epitome of Vedas, is one of the fastest birds, right? The speed is it can never be compared to any kind of speed that we see.
Exactly.
So the Lord comes on Garuda in a very swift way, just like this, in a fraction of a second. And at the same way, he is also referred as Kamalanabha. Kamalanabha is lotus navel, one whose navel is lotus. So ultimately, everything is related to Kamala in this Anupallavi. And finally, Annamacharya says, Ni Padakamala Me Sharana. So surrender to your lotus feet. Even feet is compared to lotus-like form. Why is lotus so important in Sanatana Dharma specifically? Is because lotus represents the concept of moksha. The lotus opens itself just like this, and it is just like how the Jivatma opens out of its materialistic nature and comes in touch with the spiritual identity, that it is not the body but the soul inside, the Atman, that has to be connected to Paramatma. Just like how lotus blossoms when it is exposed to sunlight, similarly, the nature of Jivatma is that when it is exposed to spirituality, it blossoms with knowledge. Knowledge that it is not the body but the soul within. Therefore, by effort, by its own effort, when the Jivatma cannot perform or gain knowledge, it finally has to seek surrender unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Paramatma. In this context, Annamacharya has mentioned in the Anupallavi that Nee Padakamalame Sharanam, surrender unto your lotus feet of Srimannarayana. The next verse, which is the Charanam, there he mentions everything in the context of Parama. Para. The word is continuously used, like Parama Yogi Jana.
Yes.
What is Parama Yogi Jana? There are many yogis, saints, who have sat through years of tapasya or penance in order to gain moksha, in order to gain a small darshan of the Lord. And where does this Lord reside? He is Paramatma. He is residing everywhere. Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan, which means to say he resides in an atomic state inside an atom, as well as he resides in a macrocosmic form inside the universe. So he can be both big and small at the same time. So that is the nature of Paramatma. So he resides in the hearts of these yogis who sit in dhyana and close their eyes and think about this Paramatma, so that they will be able to liberate themselves one day from this material clutches. So that is why he mentions Parama Yogi Jana Bhagadeya Shri. What is Shri here? Shri represents auspiciousness in all glory. So when Paramatma resides in the heart of yogis, he resides in an auspicious form through which they will be able to gain the knowledge, and there is this kind of enlightenment, sudden bliss that happens. This is what Annamacharya refers to. Parama Purusha, Paratpara. Parama Purusha. We have heard about this word called Purusha in Sanskrit commonly. In the general sense, Purusha refers to men by gender. So, every person is, you have men, women, and all the other genders. But essentially, according to Sanatana Dharma, Paramatma is the only Purusha who is the male entity, and all Jivatmas are female entities. Even though I would have a body of a man, but still the Atma is female. In what context is it female? It is not Swatantra. It is not, independent. It is Paratantra, which means it is dependent. Therefore, it is female by nature. So, this Paratantrium, or the dependency of Jivatma on Paramatma, is depicted as Parama Purusha, which means the Lord is the supreme controller, supreme Purusha, supreme enjoyer. They say Bhokta word in Sanskrit. So he is the only person who can be called as Purusha, because he has all the capabilities of a Purusha, while all the other Jivatmas are Stri Swarupa, or feminine in nature. Yes. Therefore, he is the supreme Purusha. Paratpara. Many times, this word para can be used in a relative sense. For example, in a family, if you see the eldest member, for example, it could be the father or mother or the grandfather, grandmother. So we call them that, they are the eldest people in my family. Therefore, I have to seek their suggestions or seek their opinions or seek their approval to do something in life, some major decisions. When you come to office, when you are at the working place, you have different levels. For an employee at a lower level, his immediate manager will be his boss. Yes. For that manager, his immediate manager will be his boss, and so on and so forth, in a hierarchical. In Sanskrit, this word can be used as para. So for the employee at a lower end, his immediate manager is a para for him, which means he is his boss, and so on. So what is para? Para itself is something called as supreme, and Paratpara is more supreme than the supreme, at the highest level. It is a superlative degree. In this context, Annamacharya mentions that Srimannarayana is Paratpara when compared to all other deities like Indra, Agni, Vayu and so on, Ashtadikpalakas, Navagrahas. Narayana is the supreme controller who takes care of all these lower deities. Therefore, he is Parasparanam Paramaha, which means he is the most supreme at a superlative level than all these devatas. And then he goes on to say Paramatma. There are many Atmas. They are called as Jivatmas. But there is one most major Atma from which all these Jivatmas have come into being, come into existence. And that is Paramatma. Parama Atma, which is the supreme Atma, who is Srimannarayana, who can pervade the entire universe both in macrocosm and microcosm, both Brahmanda and Pindanda, because he also stays as Antaryami in our hearts, and he also says as the supreme Brahman inside the universe. Therefore, he is Paramatma. And immediately, in the same context, Annamacharya continues, Paramanu Rupa. What is Paramanu Rupa? Anu means atom. Atom is the most, small, minutest particle that is available. Of course, we have electrons and protons, neutrons within an atom, but still atom is the indestructible part that is present, which constitutes the universe. Paramanu means one who can even pervade, go inside the anu or the atom and reside there. And so, what Annamacharya wants to mention here is Bhagavan, Srimannarayana, he can expand himself as well as contract himself. He is capable of infinite qualities, showing infinite qualities, and one of them is expanding and contracting into macrocosm and microcosm. Finally, he talks about all these nice features and he says, Shri Tiruvenkatagiri Deva Sharanam, which means, Srimannarayana, you stay in Vaikuntha in your eternal form, and we Jivatmas, because we are associated with this material body, we are unable to, come in direct contact with you. We are unable to worship you because it requires a different level of consciousness to worship Paramatma directly, which we are incapable of. Because we are under the control of Sattva-guna, Rajo-guna and Tamo-guna.
Exactly.
But the Lord is so merciful, Just like how your mother, any mother, you have a child and a mother, the mother comes to the level of the child in order to, teach him something or teach her something or feed him or her something. Similarly, Paramatma, just like a parent, Srimannarayana, he comes directly from Vaikuntha and stands on the mountains of Venkatagiri, what we call today as Tirumala, Tirumalai, Tirupati, Tirumala. There on the peak of Venkatagiri, he stands directly as Sri Venkatesha, Sri Srinivasa, Sri Govinda, and blesses all devotees, irrespective of caste, creed, whatever ethnicity they come from. He is waiting for us with, lovable embrace to bless us with whatever wishes we want. It could be both materialistic and spiritual. So the Supreme Lord, he has taken so much effort and come and stood on Venkatagiri for the benefit of all jivas. So to his lotus feet, let us all surrender. So this is the whole summary of this Kirtana.
That's great. Good to listen to you and expecting more Kirtanas in coming episodes as well. Thank you, Adithya, for connecting over today's podcast.
Thank you so much for your time and the opportunity as well. Looking forward. Namaskaram to everyone.
Namaskaram. Thank you.